So Donald Trump is limping toward the election finish line. Let's talk about that. Because the return of good government, like justice, matters. Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So we're heading into the home stretch, right? Just a couple of weeks away from the election. And what is Donald Trump left with as a campaign strategy? Well, he's basically retweeting QAnon, and he's relying on Rudy Giuliani's Russian disinformation, right? We get this harebrained story about, Rudy Giuliani pulls over on the side of the road and he finds a laptop in a ditch and he picks it up and he smells it and he says, hey, this kind of smells like Hunter Biden, so therefore... Okay, yeah, I'm taking liberty with the facts of the story. Problem is, the facts that these characters are trying to feed the gullible about this, October surprise Hunter Biden linked laptop is just about as ridiculous as my version. Here's the thing. We have learned what Rudy Giuliani has been up to, in his investigation into Hunter Biden, because the Washington Post and other news outlets reported about this in recent days. Here's the Washington Post headline. White House was warned Giuliani was target of Russian intelligence operation to feed misinformation to Trump. And here's how that article reads in part. U.S. intelligence agencies warned the White House last year that President Trump's personal lawyer, Rudolph Giuliani, was the target of an influence operation by Russian intelligence, according to four former government officials familiar with the matter. The warnings were based on multiple sources, including intercepted communications. That would be recorded phone calls, folks. Intercepted communications that showed Giuliani was interacting with people tied to Russian intelligence during a December trip to Ukraine, where Rudy was gathering information that he thought would expose corrupt acts by former Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Can't you almost picture those meetings that were going on between Rudy Giuliani and these Russian intelligence sources? Oh, Comrade Rudy, we have a laptop we think you might be interested in. It has Hunter Biden stuff in it. Now, this conjures up really one of two things. Either Rudy Giuliani was an innocent, naive dupe and didn't know he was dealing with Russian intelligence sources feeding him disinformation, or he did know exactly what he was doing. And if ever it felt like there was somebody encouraging foreign interference in a U.S. election. So the Washington Post article goes on to say that Donald Trump himself was warned about this by former National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien. He said to the president, do what you want, Mr. President, but your friend Rudy has been worked by the Russian assets in Ukraine. He's been worked by Russian assets. And any information or evidence that Rudy brings back should be, quote, considered contaminated by Russia. And you know how Donald Trump responded according to the Washington Post reporting? He shrugged his shoulders and he said, quote, that's Rudy, close quote. Folks, is it any surprise that that's Donald Trump's reaction to being told that his lawyer, his friend, is being worked by Russian assets, being provided bogus information about Donald Trump's political opponents? Donald Trump said, that's Rudy. Of course it's not a surprise, because we just saw the town hall, right, conducted by Savannah Guthrie, in which Donald Trump said that he retweets QAnon posts or tweets, but he said, I don't know anything about QAnon. I don't know anything about them. I just, retweet it. So, he doesn't know anything about how QAnon, involves these insane conspiracy theories, juvenile, obscene conspiracy theories, roving band of devil-worshipping Democrats drinking babies' blood. Donald Trump says, I don't know anything about QAnon. I just retweet it. Then you have Lindsey Graham yelling and screaming about, I'm going to subpoena the heads of social media for, not running these stories about the Hunter Biden laptop that was magically found in October. Basically he wants to bring in the head of Twitter to yell at him for not deceiving the American people with this Russian propaganda. These people, Donald Trump, Rudy Giuliani, Lindsey Graham, they're birds of a soiled feather. They're all kind of huddled together in this soiled nest of disinformation and deceit and double dealing and propaganda and QAnon conspiracies. But here's the good news, folks, because there's always good news, right? Because yes, there is this enormous black cloud that is the Trump administration, right? His cabinet, his family members. And it is a big, dense, consequential dark cloud that we've had to live with for 4 years. But behind that dark cloud, right, there is that silver lining. And we need to remember that with just one vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, with just one vote, your vote, for decency, for empathy, for compassion, for good government, for diversity, for inclusivity, for honor and integrity in government. Just one vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, and you will be voting out Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani and Bill Barr, Mike Pompeo. You'll be voting out Jared and Ivanka and Don Jr. and Eric. You'll be voting out Betsy DeVos and Ross and Mnuchin and Wolf and Cuccinelli and McEnany and Wheeler and Meadows and Stephen Kids in Cages Miller. One vote has never been so valuable. That one vote is priceless. And if each and every one of us casts that one vote for decency and good government, and we get out in numbers too big to rig and too real to steal, then January 20th, 2021 will be the most glorious sunrise over America imaginable. So let's do it. As always, please stay safe, folks. And I look forward to talking with you all again tomorrow.